Our Tyler Manion is anchoring out in the field there on the property of Oglethorpe Mall. Good evening, Tyler.
A powerful account there, Jasmine. Thank you for bringing us that woman's story. She's just one of the people who were inside the mall, but of course first responders were inside for the hours after people like that were evacuated. We're joined by one of them right now, Chatham County Sheriff Richard Coleman. Obviously, Sheriff, you were here responding, trying to figure out what was going on. Take me back into last night, the emotions that you were feeling as you first got to the scene and what you saw.
But somebody has to do it, and we supply the volunteers for those jobs.
And we know this tournament, the other thing we talk about always is the charitable benefits, right? And Steve Wilmot says all the time, if we had to pay the volunteers a dime, Steve Wilmot, for those that don't know, tournament director, we had him on right here live yesterday. If we had to pay those volunteers a dime, we wouldn't be able to give anything to charity.
I've heard Steve's speech before. That's 100% correct.
One of the things we have heard from so many people over the last 24 hours since this all happened is that question of, is this gang related? We've heard it from you. We've heard that concern, and we have taken that concern to Savannah Mayor Van Johnson. I asked him about it directly during our Zoom interview earlier today.
If you're not familiar, they're going to take this hospital bed, this gurney, all the way down Bay Street from where we are up on Harrington down to historic Henry C. Chambers Waterfront Park. We're going to bring it to you live right here on the news. Like I said, a group of local architects ready to take the first ride, and you see all these people lining Bay Street. They've got water guns, they've got balloons, and they've got buckets filled with water ready to get these folks as soaked as humanly possible. I got to tell you, one of the folks in our first group here, Jeremiah, he won the bed races last year. Defending champion, leading us off here in 2025.
We spoke with the mayor as soon as he arrived at the scene here last night, and also today via Zoom. We spoke for about 14 minutes while he was in the airport. He made time for us as he was traveling out of town because he knows how important it is for you all to hear from him. If you want to watch that full interview, you can go to our website. It is posted there for you to view in its entirety. If there was a recommendation for folks, obviously you know this place and the experience is better than most, what would you tell people on their way out this weekend? Hey, you got to make sure and you see or do this. Chatham County District Attorney Shalina Cook-Jones wrapping up a press conference that lasted just under an hour following last night's shooting. Police are telling us that injured 3 at the Oglethorpe Mall in Chatham County, of course, where she serves as the lead prosecutor. We just heard from several local faith leaders, 5 of them who offered different powerful public prayers, and then also a business leader. And the district attorney spoke before that. If you missed the district attorney's remarks, she said she had a direct message to the folks responsible for this. She said, we will find you, we will see you, and we will prosecute you. She's also said that this will never happen again in Chatham County. She said that this case will take the highest priority in her office, although she will treat it just like any other case, and that it is not more important than the justice of other cases. She also said that she will be bringing swift justice to those responsible. Now, she made very clear that she was not going to comment on the investigation. She said she'll leave that to law enforcement and is confident that they will bring her a case to prosecute in due time. And once that happens, again, she said swift justice will come from the Chatham County District Attorney's Office and the legal system onto the folks responsible. Of course, we'll continue to follow this story all day for you right here on The News. But for now, we want to get you back to CBS programming. All right. We want to recap all of the information that we just learned, or at least a lot of it. Obviously, today is a very difficult day for all the folks that live up in that area. Again, this is 40 minutes northeast of Atlanta, so just about 5 hours away from where we are here in Savannah. Taking notes throughout that entire press conference, let's run through some of the important information. Again, the 4 people that are dead, 2 of those people are students and 2 of those people are teachers. The shooter is identified as a 14-year-old boy who goes to that school. That's Appalachia High School up there in Barrow County, Georgia. The sheriff, Judd Smith, was emotional as he got up for his turn at the mic, taking a moment to collect himself before saying that he never imagined having to be in a situation like this, where he was the one talking about this happening in his community. And it was his school resource officers, the GBI, saying 2 of them, that encountered that shooter within minutes of getting the alert that this came in. And as soon as they encountered that shooter, the sheriff says the shooter essentially surrendered himself, got on the ground, and gave up what he was doing. Again, he killed 4 people before doing that
injured another 9 others that are at local hospitals all around that area, the metro Atlanta area and the greater suburbs, about, again, 40 miles to the northeast of our state's capital. The superintendent saying that all schools in that district are not going back to class this week. Of course, this is going to be a lot on families, on students, on teachers, on staff, on everyone in that community. They're going to have time to collect themselves, and I'm sure that grief counselors will be available afterwards. They just said as well that there will be another in-person press conference sometime later this afternoon or evening, and they'll be posting updates to their social media page. They, in that sense, being the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, we will continue to monitor all of this for you right here at WTOC. And as soon as we get more information into our newsroom, we'll bring it to you immediately. For now, we're going to go to a quick break, and we'll be back with our local news after that.
The news starts now with breaking news.
Thanks for watching the news at 3. I'm Tyler Manion. That breaking news, Leilani Simon guilty on all 19 counts.
And we have a lot to get to this morning.
We absolutely do. I'm Tyler Manion. You see our meteorologist Dylan Smith and Andrew Gorton here on this First Alert Weather Day, and some of those impacts behind us in our monitor as well. Andrew, we got to get right to you. Yeah. What is going on right now? What do folks need to know about? Turning our attentions back to those fires out in Long County. We do have Anna Stansfield now. As we just mentioned earlier at the start of the newscast, she was looking for a safe place to come live to us. Anna, we see that you're all set up with that fire just over your shoulder. What are you seeing out there right now? Heavy rains coming down in certain parts of our area all throughout the day today, raising the risks of flooding and potentially some other impacts as well. That's why today is a First Alert Weather Day. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Dave Turley and get a live look outside across the area. Only very specific places seeing that rain right now, Dave. We see the Savannah Riverfront dry at the moment, but you're saying it's some of our westward counties that's not the case. If you know anything about what happened this weekend in that shooting, you're urged to contact the McIntosh County Sheriff's Office at the number that's on the bottom of your screen. You can also find it with this story at our website, WTOC.com. Right now, Savannah police are asking for your help in finding a vehicle that's connected to a deadly hit and run from earlier this month. I want to give you a good look at this on your screen right now. Tropical Storm Helene, as we said at the top of this half hour, has officially turned deadly in the coastal empire. There's a death confirmed in Jeff Davis. We have their emergency management director on the line right now, Charles Wasden. Our Anna Stansfield traveled up to the state's capital and joins us live from there tonight after being in the room where some of these discussions have happened. Anna, what are some of the leaders from our area focused on in these talks? In local political news today, Republican Congressman Buddy Carter announcing that he's going to be running for U.S. Senate in 2026, set to challenge incumbent Democrat Jon Ossoff. That means, though, that his seat in the U.S. House of Representatives would be up for grabs. WTOC's Shay Schrader joins us live from the newsroom now. Shay, you've been on this all day. What are you hearing about who's set to run for that seat? I want to go now to the city where it all started, Washington, D.C. That's where we join national correspondent Molly Martinez. So, Molly, we know the dust has settled after yesterday's House vote on the big, beautiful bill. What is sentiment like about it today? This car tries to make its way through, water splashing up above the tires. And that's a similar story parallel to Abercorn on White Bluff as well, right by Savannah Tech. This potentially some of the wildest video of the night. Dave and Jamie, thank you both. Obviously, as Jamie's mentioning, it's exciting, but this is going to bring some impacts to our region, both in the coastal empire and in the low country. We have live team coverage for you tonight. We'll get to our Shay Schrader, who you see on the right side of your screen in just a moment. She's out in Statesboro. But first, we want to start with our Flynn Snyder, who's in the city of Savannah, where we are under a state of emergency, bracing for ice, Arctic air, and even snow. And the Aikens Pond Dam. That's 5 different dams on the verge of breaching. As we zoom out right here, you can see these bodies of water are all connected across Bullitt County.
The news at 5:30 starts now.
Inside the house, it was just like an atomic bomb going off. I was in Vietnam and felt like I was back.
It's now 6 months after Hurricane Helene left a trail of destruction across the southeast, the deadliest hurricane since Katrina. Helene responsible for at least 249 deaths, leaving hundreds of families grieving. That includes families right here in our area. Thanks for joining us on The News at 5:30. I'm Tyler Manion. You can see what that storm did in Savannah right here, taking power away from nearly 60% of the city. Elsewhere in the coastal empire, high winds and tornadoes destroying homes and businesses. Helene's highest wind gusts in Georgia were in Alma, reaching 100 miles an hour, littering streets and ripping the roofs off of some buildings. The storm causing at least $5.5 billion in agriculture and timber losses in the Peach State as well. This is what was left at a chicken farm in Jeff Davis County as a family's livelihood was demolished. In all, an estimated 500,000 customers lost power in Georgia, some without electricity and water for days, leaving families desperate for essential items.
Got another lady down the road who was on oxygen as well, keep having to feed the generator, keep having to go get her oxygen.
On the other side of the storm, people lined up for supplies like food and ice as recovery efforts began. 6 months removed now, our Olivia Wright talking with leaders today in one of the hardest hit areas. Olivia?
WTOC News.
You can look back at all the damage Hurricane Helene left behind across the area at our website, WTOC.com. Just as many in our community are still recovering, adjusting to life after Helene, that continues to be difficult for folks in South Carolina and western North Carolina, too. Now, some of those people being threatened by wildfires as well. One fire department there hosting a community prayer for their first responders.
This community know that we're here for them, we're praying for them.
A burn ban remains in effect for all of the Palmetto State right now. The ban including yard debris burning, prescribed burning, and campfires or bonfires. On the Georgia side of our area, the city of Vidalia has put a burn ban in place as well. The city saying that outdoor grilling and small backyard fire pits are allowed, but they're asking that only natural falling debris be burned in those pits. First Alert meteorologist Jamie Ertl with us now. And Jamie, the weather conditions contributing to that added danger.
Low humidity, not too windy, and our soils are very dry. I'll have your complete First Alert forecast in minutes.
Sounds good, Jamie. We'll see you in a bit. The Department of Health and Human Services is cutting 10,000 full-time employees across health agencies. That's on top of 10,000 workers who already left voluntarily. HHS saying that the new cuts will save the department $1.8 billion per year.
And the second is to radically improve our quality of service.
The cuts are part of a dramatic restructuring at HHS, the overhaul including consolidating 28 divisions into 15. U.S. Senator John Ossoff responding to these major cuts, focusing on the impacts to the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, which is based in our state's capital, of course. He says, quote, the Trump administration's war on the CDC continues with more reckless mass firings of thousands. The foolish attack on America's preeminent public health agency leaves Americans exposed to deadly outbreaks, close quote. Happening now, a bill that aims to make South Carolina's legal system more fair has just cleared a huge hurdle after months of fights. Supporters believing that this will ultimately help you save money on insurance rates. State House reporter Mary Green explains.
Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
Earlier this month, Governor Henry McMaster stood alongside senators in support of tort reform legislation. Today, the governor called the passage of this bill great news, saying it's a wonderful example of leadership, determination, hard work, and collaboration. In Georgia, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis continues to defy orders to testify about her office's investigation of President Donald Trump. The special state Senate panel investigating the case now saying that Willis could go to jail if she keeps ignoring those subpoenas.
Your nose at a court's order.
That was Senator Bill Counser there. Now, this investigation began more than a year ago when a lawyer representing one of President Trump's co-defendants revealed Willis was romantically involved with the prosecutor she'd hired to lead the case. Still ahead, a Senate hearing today on the fatal plane crash at Reagan National Airport in D.C. More from leaders about what we know so far.